Live.
I started after you, so I will figure that out later.
That's a problem for post.
I forgot how to use my mouse, my trackpad. Hello, sister friend. How are you? Long time no see.
I'm good. I know. I was talking to someone yesterday. I recorded a podcast with them, and they were like, "What's your setup like?" And I explained it, and they were like, "No. Oh, sweet child. That's not the way you should be doing it." Apparently, we're supposed to be using Riverside. Everyone uses Riverside. I'm going to have to look into Riverside. I did record a podcast on Riverside yesterday, but I was just like, I just showed
Instead
up
of
to
what,
it.
QuickTime Player or whatever we're using?
Yeah, for some reason the people don't, but it essentially does the same thing. It just takes your recording and my recording and it smashes it together. But apparently it can auto make you clips and stuff. I don't know. AI, the future. I don't know. But I don't know if that costs money. I don't know what's
we're kind of a grassroots boutique podcast with no budget. So
this is a... what do you call it?
Also,
charity? No.
Nonprofit.
Nonprofit.
Also, this is
a non-for-profit.
A podcast in which we don't brush our hair.
It's also a podcast where we don't have good lighting. We don't even we don't sit straight when we're I was in a tractor in a semi.
Listen,
2 minutes
it's
ago.
magical that we're even here.
Every day is a miracle. The fact that I'm still alive is just crazy. Just crazy. I was driving home and the roads were flooding, and there was a little groundhog who was evacuated from his home because his home had flooded, and he was so wet and drenched and clearly looking for higher ground.
That's really sad that he was displaced like that. I went to pull up our notes and we have no notes, so...
There are no notes. No, I was thinking about it today because I was sitting in line at the elevator for hours on end, and I was just thinking of things to ask you. Are they coming to my mind right now?
Well,
no.
I can give an update on the old apartmento search.
Yeah, I need an apartment update. I need a health update. I need a wellness check.
Health update. I'm fine. I burnt my mouth on my frozen pizza that I made today. Link, get down. This cat has been terrorizing me all day.
So you're ready to not be roommates with the Link?
Yeah, he's been on one. Anyways, health is fine besides my burnt mouth. Apartment wise, apartment hunting in New York is not for the weak of heart. I have toured.
I think it's the faint of heart.
The faint of heart is not for me. I'm being so distracted by this cat right now. I toured a couple places. Didn't even get applications in on time before they were swept away. I toured one last night that I really liked. I had a really good feeling about it. I put in an application. I'm waiting to hear back to see if I got approved. I was hoping to find out today, and I haven't found out yet, which is a little scary, but that's okay. A little bit pricier than I wanted, but Link is just walking around.
Isn't everything in my entire existence is a little pricier than I want it to be?
I know. And then Mom
Linky boy
was trying to get me to negotiate the broker's fee, and me as a former baby, I can't do that. I don't know what I'm doing, and it was really scary. And basically I was like, is there any way you can move the broker's fee from 14% to 11%? Because Mom did the math for me. And the lady was like, no, we have 2 other people interested. If you don't want it, just let me know. I'm going to give it to the next person. And I was like, never mind. I wanted it this whole time.
Disregard.
Gotcha.
Disregard me being a silly goose.
Being a silly little Willy. Please let me have the apartment.
Negotiating is the worst.
No.
Negotiating is the worst thing ever. And I was talking today to some guy who has some thing that I might become involved in or not, a brand deal potentially. And he was like, it's basically for a service that they do marketing. They teach you marketing and stuff for the grain industry, but they also talk about the philosophy of selling, and they also talk about negotiating. And I was like, oh, interesting. You speak about negotiating. You teach people how to negotiate, and I'm going to have to go to bat with you negotiating a little dealy poo right here. That's interesting. My negotiation tactics are just ignore, and then sometimes they'll be like, no, never mind, no, we can pay you.
Okay. Yeah, I've never negotiated anything in my life. For every job I've had, they'd be like, here's the money, and I'm like, great, thank you, I'll take that. And then with this apartment, which you have as a renter, you just don't have any leverage. In some states, you can be like, there's so many options. I can get a lower deal at a different building, and you can have a little bit of leverage. But here, there's 4 apartments and 4 million New Yorkers, and you're just happy if a real estate agent emails you back. And so I was so scared, and it didn't work at all. But we'll see. I keep refreshing my email.
I'm thinking good things for you. Now, how close are you getting to a critical date of being unhoused?
Not close. I have my current apartment through April. So I have almost 2 months. I'm shooting for an April 1 move-in date though, so I can take a whole month to move. And that's April why
1. You see, you're already speaking the lingo.
And that's why I was like, I'm gonna be paying 2 rents. Anyway, you can cut me a deal. And the lady was like, no.
Yeah, but you know how big of a flex you're gonna be during that 1 month crossover. I need you every single day to be like, oh yeah, I have 2 places. I have 2 places in this city. Can I afford them? No. But do I have 2 homes? One for the bitches and one for the host? Is that, or are those even the words? Do you know what I'm talking about?
That because Mom listens to this.
Oh no, it's 2 phones. It's 2 phones. It's not 2 homes. It's 2 phones. I got 2 phones. One for the witches, one for the hoes.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, that's the housing update. I'm currently not unhoused, but we'll see. It's so stressful. It's so annoying, and I hate it so much. I'm giving hives thinking about it. Mm-hmm. But then I got my renewal notice or whatever today for my current place, and they upped our rent $200. And it's for what?
And do they know you won't be? Do they know? See, is there a world in which you're oh, hey, I'm moving out, and they'll be like, wait, we'll cut you a deal, and then you have to say, no, leave me alone. I already have 2 homes.
I have no idea. I've only moved 1 time in New York.
Okay. Now is Kristen moving too?
Well, she's moving back to her parents' house.
Okay.
But it's a very sick. It's so I was talking to my colleagues at work about this because one of my colleagues is from Pennsylvania and the other is from New York, and it's just a very New York thing to live with your parents for a very long time. Just this place is expensive and
just culturally many countries all over the world.
And I was trying to
I'm
explain
thinking about
to
doing
them
it too.
That, not that our parents wouldn't let me live at home with them, but I don't think that they would accept me with open arms. I don't think that they would be like, come live with me.
I would say where we live, it's a negative connotation. If you still live at home, you're a bum.
All of my friends, even Kimber, not even Kimber, she's literally my only friend. She's the only person I'm thinking of. Moved out and went to college, and then after college never moved back home. And so she's moving home, but it's no one thinks of that as a negative connotation, especially not here. But I would feel I think if something happened and I needed a place to live, I don't think our parents would be like, you can't come home. But I also don't feel after college they had an open arm and were come live with us. There
also would have been 0 job opportunity for you here. Just in there would have been a lot of things that went wrong for you to be living at home.
Also, obviously, pricing, house of living, or cost of living. I'm not really good with words today.
House of living.
Here's a funny thing.
You know who's not?
I got this head massager thing. It's like literally.
Okay.
First of all, what is that? So well, this is like so not. This was like the fact this was like a free thing. I just
like
want you
a
to know
brush,
this is free.
even
I did
though
not pay
it could
for
never
this.
be used as a brush.
But yeah, first of all, it can never be used as a brush. It's supposed to like be a head massager, and I've never experienced anything more painful. And so I have it in this nice little dish because I think it's like a beautiful decor.
It looks.
But like,
pretty.
what a piece of useless garbage.
Would you consider that a piece of a rock?
Yeah,
is that a
jade.
rock?
It's a mineral.
Yeah, we're rock people
I was trying
now.
to explain that to Dad because I was talking about you picking up rocks to him last night and Tanner wanting rocks, and Dad was like, do you want a rock? And I was like, I have rocks. They're my crystals.
Yeah, I have little rocks in the house too. Yeah, the rock thing was bizarre because for a little part of me, I was like, oh, does Tanner not live with me? Does he know nothing about my life? Because he sent a text that was like, do we have any rocks that we could use? And I was like, I'm sorry, you clearly have not watched any
Tanner,
of my stories.
Open TikTok.
You clearly have never you haven't walked behind a barn. I'm coming in with dirt all over me, complaining about how many rocks I had to pick up, and then you have the audacity to be like, do we have any rocks?
See, that's so funny. Thinking
I don't know.
about
And so
exterior decor. Don't have that. Don't need that. Don't want that.
Well, so on Sunday, Tanner really got it into his system that like we have to do the landscaping immediately. And every single year we like start to do a landscaping, and then like the last 2 years we were like, we'll just put mulch down because rocks are expensive, and like the decorative rocks, the rocks you would buy,
like Mom and
you know.
Dad's rocks.
Yeah, river rock. River rock is the thing that most people use around here. And we've just been not doing that. And so last weekend he was like, we have to figure this out. So the house looks unkempt, unfinished, horrid. He was being a little dramatic. And actually he wasn't being that dramatic. I'm being dramatic in the retelling of him being dramatic. But anyway, so he started on that. And so then I was like, I'm going to start like picking up these rocks behind the house. And do something else. But my neighbor stopped me, and he's like, yeah, I just think what would set your house apart is if you had some decorated rocks. And like in his house, in his yard, he has lots of decorative rocks, and they do like they're nicely placed, and I don't know, he just have like rocks laying around. And so I was like, yeah, that's an idea. With fully no intention of following up on that. And then I had said that. I was like, yeah, the neighbor stopped me and said that we need to put rocks out. And so for some reason, that actually made Tanner think, oh, we should have rocks in our landscaping. And so now we have a big freaking rock that I happened to have a rock with me while he asked if we had any rocks. And I was like, you want this one? I didn't even know what it looked like because it was so covered in dirt because I dug it out of the ground. And luckily, it's a good looking rock.
Is it sandstone? Do you know what type of rock it is?
I couldn't tell you. Tanner says it has hues of purple, but I haven't actually looked at it yet. Now that he has it cleaned off. Rock?
I took 2 geology classes, so I'm pretty much a rock expert.
Yeah, I don't know. I picked up 2 really pretty rocks yesterday, but they were like little, like football sized. But like, it's so weird when you're picking up rocks and you're like, oh, pretty rock.
Yeah. So speaking of rocks, this is my useless rock that honestly, I find it really irritating, but like, I think it's so pretty that I want to keep it. But like, I just think it's like ripping my hair.
Yeah. You can't convince me that is
literally
doing any
nothing
good for you.
You know what's also annoying? The fact that I'm going to get an apartment that's the same size as just my room right now and pay $1,000 more.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's really interesting. Is it too late to turn back now?
No. Well,
how much would a plane ticket home cost?
Every single time I complain to anybody, they're always like, you can move home. But I actually can't.
Yeah,
I like my job.
Does at your job, is there anyone who works
I know one
remote?
person that works remote from Vermont.
Well, and it wouldn't make any sense for you because you have to like go in and actually like put
she's
on parties. But
the email team, like the Met's so big and we have so many emails that we literally have a department for just the emails going out of the Met. And so that's how she can do it remote because she runs the email team. And
yeah.
And
it's literally
like,
an email.
They
this
literally have meetings about emails and then they send their emails and that's like their whole job. And I like working with them. They emailed me twice today to be like, Kenzie, where's your copy for your email that needs to go out in 2 days? And I'm like, that's crazy. I'm going to do that tomorrow. So,
that's so funny thinking about like someone who works on an email team sending emails to figure out what the email is going to be. Wow.
They were really like, Kenzie, you got to get on this. And I was like, yeah, that's crazy. I'm going to do that tomorrow. But anyways, so she works remote. But other than that, I think every employee has to be. Did I say where I worked? Yeah. Oh well, it's fine.
You're gonna do a lot of bleeping out, or I mean, the four people that listen to this podcast. I really doubt they're gonna email them and be like,
where I work. But anyways,
that's true.
I think everyone at work has to be at least hybrid. So, I think she got like a special little pass. She was in New York and then during COVID moved to Vermont.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking about moving, you were in DC this weekend.
Yeah.
In a ball gown.
Experiencing the worst night of my life. So,
what?
Every year they do the barrister's ball, but like it's like law school prom. Like literally everyone's wearing prom dresses and it's a big party. And they had.
And your boyfriend is a law student, so that's why you go.
No, I am a law student.
We need context.
In my very busy life as a full-time employee, I'm also a law student in DC. No, Edward is a law student at Georgetown. I'm just giving all my personal information.
You want to tell me his social security number too?
It was at the Spy Museum, and something bad happened with check-in because they were using pen and paper, and we had to wait outside for 40 minutes in the rain before going in, and then the lines at the bar were long, the lines for the food were long, the lines for the bathroom was long. I was talking to a girl. We were waiting for the bathroom together, and she had waited outside for an hour and 40 minutes. And so just
oh my gosh, was this like high security? Why did it take so long to get in?
Not enough people checking in, slow process. It was on the 5th through 7th floor, so everyone had to take an elevator up, and then it just like wasn't a big enough space for however many attendees there were. And as a professional events planner, I'm just like really hypersensitive to like operational mishaps at events, and so I was just like really distracted by how poorly it was going. But the exhibition was cool. I'd never been to the Spy Museum, so that was neat. Then the next day I spent the last penny in my pocket at Georgetown. I bought my dress for Zoe's bridal shower, which is like what I set out to do. I was like, I have one mission and one mission only. And so I found a dress and I paid too much money for it.
Where did you, what store did you get that from? Okay, that's what I thought, because I looked at that dress. Because Michaela has that dress. Now, they make like 4 that are like kind of the exact same texture stuff with like slightly different cuts. So hers might be like a slightly different cut.
Is she wearing it to your bridal shower?
But she had it in green.
Green's fine.
Well, no,
I thought it was going to be the exact same dress.
No,
and I was like, how dare you not tell me that?
No. I had just seen a picture. She had worn it to like a wedding or something, and I just saw that dress and I was like, oh, I really like it. And then when I was looking on Abercrombie for dresses for me to wear, I saw that dress and I was like, oh, I could get that in a different color. But then I ordered 3 other dresses, none of them white. I
think it's fine.
I'm gonna pick between.
Who cares?
I'm just a very pale person, and I don't look good in it. So then if I get one in a different color, I can like then wear it to other things. Yeah, for sure.
I know. I'm actually thinking I'm gonna wear this dress to Eleanor's rehearsal dinner. Just so I can get wears out of it. I have the most annoying thing ever, which is a pimple in your ear.
Oh, that's the
know.
worst.
Once again, God is giving me the toughest battles. Speaking of your bridal shower, though, are you excited? It's in like a short period of time from now.
No. Yes, I'm excited, but I'm not mentally, physically, emotionally prepared for any of it. Just like I feel like my life is so hectic with like work right now that I'm like, if it's like, oh my gosh, I have this other thing coming, but I'm not at the stage yet where I'm like, oh, okay, I get to see my friends soon. I'm just like, oh, this is another thing I still need to get an outfit to wear. I still need to like make sure that my house is presentable. We have to get the landscaping in order. So like once I get some of those things tackled, then I'll be like transitioning into like, wait, all of my friends are going to be in the same place at the same time for the first time ever.
Does
That's
Tanny
odd.
Banani know that he can't stay at your house that weekend?
Yeah, he does know that on one level. Like I've told him on multiple times of like, hey, just like make sure you're not here. But like I don't know if he's actually made plans
He's gonna end up
yet.
having to like go to our parents' house.
I'm assuming he'll just go up to maybe Columbus. So this weekend we're going to Columbus because we're having a joint Tanner's birthday / Josh and Kelsey are moving party. And then so that's like the last big get together. But then like Tanner could easily sneak up for another last get together with Josh or something for that night.
Because that's the day before they move.
Worst case scenario.
Because I'm like texting all of your friends now because I have all your friends' number.
Oh wait, it's the day before they move. Wait, so okay, yeah, it'd be like I don't know. Yeah, they probably don't want to house Tanner if they're like packing up bags. Yeah, I don't know. I guess he'll be unhomed for a day.
Join the club.
Yeah, he could go stay with our parents, which would be interesting. Just like sleep over, like.
And he could say like, yeah.
That would be interesting. Yeah, he could sleep out here on the couch if needed, but like he needs to be evacuated from the premise. It's a bachelorette party.
That'd be weird.
Oh my God.
He doesn't realize it's the sleepover of the year.
Yeah, I know. I feel like no one ever does like a sleepover at their own house for their bachelorette party, but you know what? It's a revolutionary idea.
Fun. I have everything ordered for the bridal shower. I don't have everything ordered for the bachelorette. That's all my to-do list for this weekend. I just need to get stuff for like everyone's little goodie bags and some like fun decorations that don't have genitalia on them.
Yeah, that's my one thing. Like just know.
I agree. We're a classy group of gals, and I feel like I need to come up with a couple more activities, just so like we have things to do.
Yeah, just for like, and because like you can always not do an activity.
I just want to have things in my back pocket that we can be like, oh, there's a lull. Should we play Twister? You know. I don't know.
If there's a lull, we'll end up going to the Foxhole.
Is there
that's code name for my favorite
is there
bar
a
in town? The Foxhole.
Should we do a jazz game of?
Are we going to the diner
of charades?
Quick! If we all shovel out this grain bin, it'll go so much quicker.
Pick up some rocks. Yeah. No, I know. I need to figure out where I can get a helium tank. I'm also doing like 99% of this remote.
Yeah. I know. Well, that was the other thing I was thinking. I was like, oh, wait, if you're like also... So we're doing a whole shebang in one weekend of like bachelorette party, followed by sleepover, followed by bridal shower. I'm like, is Kinsey going to have to wake up at 4 a.m. and go like from sleepover to like prepping for the bridal shower?
Listen to my
and
weekend.
We're all going to have to get ready in my house.
I have to go...
Luckily, technically speaking, there's enough bathrooms for like 4 people could be getting ready in their own separate bathroom, but like one would be in this scary shop bathroom.
So I will be like going to the Airbnb early to like set up, which I think I'm going to make you come with me because I can't drive. Like I can't park in Columbus. And in that place we're going.
The only people that listen to us are safe friends and family. Like the
only people listening to are the people that are
talking in code.
But like, yeah, no, I'm going to be like going to that early,
and then
like I need to leave that early to come decorate your house before everybody shows up.
Oh, you don't need to do
though.
My house does not need to be decorated.
Will be.
No.
I mean, not like a lot.
You could make Tanner do that.
I've already talked to Mom. But you could be like, hey, set up this crap. And Aunt Melody's coming to help. And like, I've already enlisted the folks we need. But it is like, I planned out my weekend like hour by hour. So I can like make sure I don't forget to do anything. And I'm coming home 3 days early because like,
yeah. What day do you come in? I can't tell
you that, sister friend. I come in on a Wednesday.
Yeah, no, that's just what I meant. Jesus
you want me to give out my flight information?
Like, flight information. Yeah, kind of.
Speaking of, I did get TSA pre-check. I've joined Civilization. I will now be keeping my shoes on.
Dude, the last year of my traveling, like the way in which I would never, ever buy like an expensive plane ticket or ever buy TSA pre-check. And then Tanner comes along and he's like, you have to get pre-check because I have pre-check and I feel like a jerk going through the airport without you.
Edward and I are going to Paris for 48 hours the weekend after your bachelorette. As if my life... Also, I'm in the middle of moving. So, as if everything isn't terrible. I will be getting my keys, getting on a plane, going to Paris. I'm not kidding, for 48 hours and then turning around and coming back. And...
Now, are you going to be in Paris for 48 hours?
Yes.
Or does that include flight time?
I'm in Paris for less than 48 hours.
Kenzie.
I'm taking a red-eye Thursday night, which puts me there at 10 a.m. Friday morning. I'm there all of Friday, all of Saturday, leave Sunday bright-eyed, early flight. So I guess a little bit more than 48 hours. But anyways, what was I saying? I was like, I'm going to get TSA pre-check because Edward does, and then like I won't be left behind, and I won't feel bad that he has to wait for me. No, it turns out he has like global entry clear, like takes his own private jet to Paris. Like no matter what I do, he can still like surpass me.
Well, see, I did global entry, which got me.
Well,
TSA
I would have
pre-check.
done global entry, except for you have to go to the airport, and I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, and no, I had to drive 2 hours to some random town, and we had to put in our like we had to schedule it out like 6 months in advance. It was insane.
Well, yeah, I looked into it and they're like, yeah, you can go to JFK. And I was like, not doing that. I can get TSA pre-check at Staples down the street. So I did that instead.
What? Oh, like literally you got
I went to Staples and I was in and out in like 5 minutes.
Interesting.
But anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to get left behind.
Yeah.
Eddie says that he won't, but I'll feel bad. I'll be like, no, you can go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a kerfuffle.
Always
outside.
is. That's what happens when you live in the hood. Time to check my email to see if I got the apartment.
Wait, is this really from them?
I haven't gotten a new email.
Oh. You're just checking your phone. Hey, have you been affected by the Instagram and Facebook outage of 2024?
No, I didn't even know about it until I listened to the toast today, and they informed me of what I needed to be informed of. Yeah,
I texted Mom at like 10:30, and I was like, "Hey, can you go see if I'm like hacked or something?" And she's like, "I can't get in," and I was like, "We're probably good then." Because if we both can't get in, there's no way that someone hacked me and then hacked my mom.
Guys, this is our immemorial episode for Zaylini.
Oh my God, wait, let me tell my funny stories before we get into the deep, dark despair that is our life. So I had the Instagram outage, and so I was like, you know what, I'm going to check out X. I haven't been on there. Like, I've spent no more than 5 minutes on X and or Twitter in the last 3 years. Like every once in a while I'll throw something up out there, get 3 likes and leave. But I was like, I'm going to spend some time on here. And that's how that phone call with the guy that I might be negotiating an ad deal with was because he DM'd me on Twitter like November of last year. And I was like, oh, sorry, I'm not on here. I don't know why you found me here. But yeah, get on X, I guess.
I only use that to look at what Taylor Swift's like secret song or like surprise songs were.
Yeah. Huh. I also I fixed a semi today because JD went home sick. I called him and I was like, "Hey, this is going on," and he was like, "You need to do this thing with these tools." And I didn't know what he was talking about, and I didn't know what tools he was talking about, so I just kept hitting the thing that caused the problem, and then it started working again. So I am a mechanic.
That's crazy. I had to write one email today and I didn't do it.
So yeah, our childhood dog died.
I've said it before, but I'll say it again. What we lacked in grandparents growing up, we made up for in childhood dogs. Zaylini was 17, which is insane.
Yeah, such a good dog. And oh my goodness, yesterday I get on my therapy Zoom call with this therapist I've known for a whole 35 minutes, and she has a beagle, and she's like, "Hey, how was your week?" And I was like, "Ironic that you're holding this beagle that looks exactly like my dead dog, but yeah, I buried our family dog this week. I'm fine. This isn't triggering at all."
I know. I was in DC and I saw a dog that looked exactly like Zaylee, and then I got like really sad for a few minutes, and then I remembered that Zaylee was the best dog and had the best life, and it was the best case scenario.
I know. It's kind of like when a really, really old person's like the grandparent dies, and it's like, okay, but like we knew they weren't going to live to be 110.
No, exactly.
So yeah, while I'm like sad, it's not devastating.
I know.
By any
I
means.
just keep reminding myself that like this is honestly, when you get a dog, this is the best case scenario. Like they live up until they can legally drive a car, which is just like crazy. Yes. I remember. So we got her. Let me do some quick math on my phone, because.
Well, yeah. So 17 years ago.
We got her when I was 8. And I remember Mom I would have been 12. Like, I was like, when I was 8, I was like, I want to have Azalea in my senior photos, which like weird thing for me to hyper focus on. And Mom was always like, I don't know if she'll live that long. Like she'll be 10. Little did we know she was going to live 6 years past when I graduated. 7 years passed when I graduated.
Yeah, that was really nice that you had like a professional photo with the dog.
I had that photo archived because I went back a long time ago and I archived all my high school pictures because like no one needs to see me in high school. And so I had to unarchive it so I could put it on my story. But now it lives on my profile because Zaylee deserves to be there.
Yeah, I had like some more recent pictures of her, but she just looked like really old, and I didn't want to like post a photo of like an old dying dog. Yeah. You know, like, you know what I mean? You want one when they were sprightly, living their best life. But yeah, such a good dog. But do you remember how crazy she was?
I remember like, when she lived 5 years attached to the door. So we had that really... Yeah, no,
she was so crazy. She had to be on a leash inside.
Leash. Like, she wasn't like, sound like you're strapped to the door sounds like dog abuse. It was really long. It was like a 20-foot leash. And it was on... Yeah.
She basically could get to the entire house, but like...
And Mom has like a pretty open concept home. So yeah, she could like go to the kitchen. She could like go to the dining room. She could like, I don't know.
But basically it made it so that she couldn't like jump up onto the counter, eat everything, just, like, and then go to a different
everything.
Counter.
She like ate every pair of shoes we've ever owned. And yeah, she was just like attached to the door. And then when she finally was like good enough to no longer be attached to the door, I just remember coming home like after school, and she would just be like standing on the kitchen table.
Oh my gosh. No, she's always, it's so funny because like one time Tanner was over, like I feel like a year or two ago, and she was standing on the kitchen table, and Mom was like, "What? She never does this." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She lives up here
on the kitchen table. She just like gets up there to be taller or something. I don't know why she was always up there. But I just remember coming home and I was so unamused by her on the table, and Kimber would always be like, "Kenzie, your 25-pound dog is standing on the table looking out the window."
It's so funny because like it was clearly like there are so many rules. You're tied to a leash inside the house, but there was also no rules because it was like, oh, she's on the table.
And I remember mom being like, get her off the table. But like, we don't punish her for being on the table. I know.
We never told her it was bad.
A lot of times you see beagles and they're like outside in cages. And she just like,
in their use for hunting
and like she slept under the covers every night for her entire life.
Yeah, under the covers, tucked in. Yeah. Oh, and also she's had sprinkled cheese on top of her kibble for the last eight years.
A very, very picky eater, and mom was always very concerned about getting her to eat. And so for a long time, like probably 5 to 8 years, mom would put Parmesan cheese on top of her food. And then the last couple of years, when she was like eating even less, mom got really creative and was like boiling her chicken and like, I don't know. And at the very end, she was just eating straight up vanilla ice cream.
Vanilla ice cream. Yeah. Well, and do you remember like what the catastrophe it would be whenever Zaylee like broke out the house? Because she was also always like fiending to get out of the house.
There's one thing Zaylee wanted to do. She always had a trick up her sleeve.
It was to not be here with us. Yeah, no.
To get out of our home.
There was a few times like normally when she'd get out, she'd go and she'd run and she'd go hang out with the cats in the barn. But like she could also just like make a mad dash. I just remember one time all 3 of the dogs got out and I was chasing her through the cow pasture, and I remember like I leaped and just barely snagged 1 foot and like yanked her in, and then I fell and I dropped her and he took off again, and I ran and I snagged, and I think that time I barrel rolled and grabbed her and I threw her into a truck.
She was never lost.
Go then taste on the other dogs.
Never got out and was out for like longer than a few hours. Like we always found her.
Except,
oh my man, that girl want to run away from home.
She wanted to book it. But then if you like got treats and turkey and stuff, you could lure her back. Do you remember
on
when
the
we lost
side
Sophie
of the cliff
for like 6 hours?
And mom prayed. Mom not a very religious woman, but religious. And she prayed to God that if she found Sophie, she would read the whole Bible cover to cover. And she did.
She did. She did. Yeah. Well, and it was just so funny because, like, at the time, it was so scary because it was like, and we've never lost a dog for like more than an hour or two. And so it was like we lost this dog, and we were talking to all the neighbors. We were like patrolling the block, and then it was like, it was getting dark out, and mom was like, I feel like I can hear her barking.
And we're like,
no, wait, I think first of all, we were like, Mom, you're barking.
Insane. And then we went outside and we're like,
yeah,
you know what? You might be onto something.
You might be onto something. And like, because mom was like, well, I can't tell where the noise is coming from because she's deaf, and so she has trouble like figuring out the direction. But
she's not completely
sorry. Yeah, that would make no sense. You really can't figure out direction. Deaf in one ear, so she can hear sound, she just can't tell where it's coming from. But none of us could tell where it was coming from because she was in a ravine. The sound was echoing off.
Cliff, mom and dad live on a cliff. Not really, it's just like a big hill, but it does kind of have a drop off. Like I wouldn't want to fall off the side of it.
Yeah.
And that's what the dog did. The dog had fallen off the side of it.
Yeah.
And had like found herself like tucked in to the side of the cliff.
And she wasn't very smart. Sophie is not the smartest tool in the shed. Yeah. And so she just found herself stuck, and so she didn't know how to get herself out. So then, like, finally we figured out where she was at.
Kristen just got home if you're like, yeah, my door.
Your door's okay. It's like, is your home also haunted? But yeah, so they were they crawled down and got her, and it was just so funny because like we'd been looking everywhere for her all evening, and it was like she was 10 feet away from us the entire time, and like she had to have been hearing us calling for her and been just like, they're thinking about me.
If it's blinking, does that mean it's mute? Yeah, yours is.
I don't know. I can hear you.
Yeah, I know. That was really scary. I was like, wow, it was really cool having a chocolate lab for 2 days, and then the lab was taken from us. But she was brought back, and Mom read the whole Bible. So
Yeah. And now she's 15. So we just have...
Mom said something. This was
some
really sad,
dogs living
but really
forever.
funny, because she's like having that eye issue, and she has like a new bump. And Mom's like, I can't take her to the vet because the vet will say this dog needs to be put down. And she was like, and I'm just like, we're just not doing that yet. And so she's like, we're just not taking her to the vet yet. But because she's like, Mom says like she's not in pain. It's like clearly not bothering her.
Yeah.
And
Well, and they've been giving her cortisone shots. But yeah, it
is really sad.
The end is near. I know. We were having like morbid jokes of like, well, could we get a 2-for-1 discount if we just brought them both in at the same time? Because it's like for months it's been like it's going to be one or the other. And like when I dug Zippy's grave, it wasn't perfectly flat on top, and Mom's like, it's fine, like, because I'm going to use the backhoe for Sophie's. I manually with my own shovel dug Zippy's, but like she was just saying like, oh, it's fine if we have like not to circle back to being rock people, we have a big rock at my parents' house.
See, but where we bury our pets big at rock. Like we're not. That's like this location. Like that's on Apple Maps. Like that's a landmark.
Ginormous. Yeah, no, it was a jungle gym. It was like we climbed on it. Like you could have a camp.
If I have a picture of the big rock, I'll insert a picture here. But I actually don't. I don't know if I have a picture of the big rock.
I know.
Anyways, the big rock is a big tombstone. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, and also like when I started digging the grave, I was like, I'm not really sure where other pets are located around this rock, and so I picked one point and I started digging down, and I saw like white things. I was like, those could very easily be like leg bones. But luckily it was just a tree root that I had like already like scraped off the outer side of. So it was just like the bright white inside of a tree root. And luckily I did not unearth any other pets in the making
like maybe
of
like
this
go like a
grave site.
Few feet far away from the big rock, you know?
Yeah, I just don't know, because they also used to be by that tree. And so it's like, I don't know. It's just... The tree that's next to the big rock.
What's very confusing.
That's no longer there. It's actually just a stump.
Not only our beloved family dogs there, but also every single fish we've ever owned.
Oh my gosh, every fish. Like, and they were in matchboxes, and like we had proper burials for like, I swear, like the
snails.
Snails. Yeah, I couldn't think of the word snail.
No, we're not a family that flushed fish down the toilet. We were a family that buried all of our fish.
In a proper grave site. Except for Peaches. Peaches is not buried with the pets. Peaches is buried by the treehouse. I think that's probably because like I had to dig a very large hole for that, and they're like, okay, we can't disturb the entire yard.
Yeah, Peaches was my mom's pet pig, for context.
Yeah.
Peaches was a failed...
And not like a
Peaches
potbelly
was a failed
pig.
4-H project.
She was a large market hog that also lived to be like 100 years old.
You know what Mom is great at? Keeping pets alive, man.
She really is. She really is.
Wow. You give her a pet and it'll outlive anybody. I remember Dad was really afraid that Peaches was going to outlive him. I'm glad that Dad outlived Peaches.
I don't remember that.
He was just saying that pigs can live forever. And she did. I don't know how long she lived. Well, actually, I do. So Dad had his hip out in 2012. Mm-hmm. She probably lived to be 11 years old. That's crazy. Because they're supposed to live
at least 10, I think.
Like, pigs are... No, market hogs, they have to be born before April 15th. And then they're slaughtered in the mid-July.
No.
Yes. April to May, May to June, June to July.
Wow. Is that the 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days thing? Or is that a gestation period for them? I did not realize that it was that quick. Wow, no wonder all of these hog companies are just cranking out hogs.
No. Now, I don't know if it's different if you have like a whole
I
hog barn. Like, I don't know if you feed them out to be bigger, but that's like
I
what a
don't think
4-H
so.
hog is.
I think for the 4-H projects, it's I'm sure it's like probably the standard market weight. I would think, not knowing anything about it, and I could figure it out with a simple Google search, which I'm not willing to do.
No, I know. I always thought about that. Like,
Isn't it
Peaches was
great?
supposed to live for 3 months, and she ended up living for 11 years.
It's crazy how much 4-H has affected our daily lives.
In what ways?
Well, for number one, like after we were done doing 4-H, we had Peaches for another 100 years. Cody took the birding project, and now he's literally an ornithologist.
But I think Cody liked birds.
I took
like regardless of 4-H. I don't think like 4-H impacted his liking of birds.
Yeah. I took the My First Tractor
And
project,
now you're a farmer?
and then I sold that tractor.
Like, do you think that one 4-H project made you a farmer?
No, not at all. Not that project. Honestly, that project, I was like, oh, I don't know anything about tractors. And then I didn't decide to ever dig any deeper. And I still don't know the basic mechanics of how anything works.
I did some fun ones towards the end. I did creative writing for 3 years. I did a lot of cooking ones. I guess that's it. I did like some really random ones. I did my self-determined.
Yeah. You never did a sewing project, right?
I kind of wanted to, but Mom didn't sew. And she had said like she can, hook me up with Penny or somebody. But then I was like, strangers. Like something about like going to someone else's house and learning like really scared me. So I didn't pursue it. But that was something I think would be a useful skill to have.
Yeah, our Aunt Melody knows how to sew because I was with Michaela in Cleveland and she had a sewing machine and I was like, oh, you guys know how to sew? And she's like, yeah, it's a lost art form. I'd love to teach you. And I was like, am I coming to take
Aunt
sewing
Melody
lessons?
would sew all of our cousins, like not all of them, but she made a couple of our cousins' Halloween costumes.
Oh.
I remember that.
I did not know that. Huh.
Yes. I was just thinking about Aunt Melody because she sent me pictures of her cupcakes at the place she works.
Ooh.
And I was like, wow, those look delicious.
I feel like having a job, like Tanner is always saying this, like he has like a very skilled job and he's always like, I would just love to work at a coffee shop. Like just no stress. Like all I'm doing, just making coffee all day long. Like that feels like such a fun job. You're just like talking to people. No one's going into like a cupcake shop being like so mad about the world, Like when you go to your accountant's office, you're like, oh, I have to deal with life. Like no, people go into a place happy.
For sure. Sorry, Mom just sent me another beautiful apartment.
Oh. I like how Mom is remotely shopping for you for apartments.
I'm sorry. Have you met her mother? She
oh my goodness, if a plane was going down she'd be like, no, let me do it, but also I need to
Mom
go to Google.
will fly a plane. Mom will what else
no,
Mom can do so many things.
When I had my ambulance ride in Chicago that one time I passed out and because it was in public they made me go to the hospital in an ambulance and pay $900 for that. That was really dumb. I should have taken an Uber because I knew I was fine, but then I passed out in the ambulance because they gave me a needle. So then they're like, no, you really aren't good. And I was like, I don't know, I think I'm fine. But anyway, I was in the ER and like before Tanner could even come back to see me, the nurse was like, do you know a Susan Kent? It's like, oh my God, my mom already knows.
No, she probably looked at your location and was like, let me call the hospital. No, like I'll be, I don't know, in an Uber on the way to the airport and she'd be like, okay, well your plane's at Terminal B, gate 64. You're flying into gate 17. Like she just like is very in the know about what we're doing at all times. And so yes, when I was apartment shopping, she is also apartment shopping and sending me other options, which I appreciate, but it is distracting when we are talking to the sister friends. Were there other things I needed to talk to you about? in this last week that has happened? Honestly, not really. I started a book Instagram. Rude that you haven't shouted it out on your platform, but
I'm sorry. I also haven't shouted out.
I know you also didn't shout out our last podcast either.
Too.
And I was like,
behind.
wow, our
really
sister
behind.
friend doesn't even want to be a sister friend.
I worked 16 hours yesterday. I got up at 5:30 this morning. I am just like too booked and busy to do the thing that's happening to me right now is I'm involved in so many things that I'm not doing great at.
Well, what's crazy is I
mean?
literally have your Instagram login, so I could have just like popped onto your Instagram and posted the link, but it's fine. I didn't do that.
Yeah, you can do that. Also, but Instagram's not working today. But like, yeah, no, that's something I need to take care of. And then also, I didn't even tell you, like our basketball season's over.
I know. You guys lost your game.
Well, the people don't know. Yeah, so basically tomorrow, Dad and I are going to Michigan, and like had we won the game on Friday, we would have had to have left the game at 9 and not gotten to our hotel until 2:30 a.m. And I was willing to do it, I was going to make it work. But since we did lose, it is much nicer for my schedule.
It's so nice that Dad's going with you.
Yeah, it's funny because it's an all women's conference, and I'm like, I'm sure they'd let you sit in the back, but he's like, no, I don't want to impose. And so we're gonna either find him like a movies nearby, or he can just take himself out to breakfast and lunch.
Speaking
or something.
of a movie nearby, I went and saw Anybody But You for the second time. It's just as funny as the first.
That's definitely a movie that I feel like I could like watch multiple times. Good. Yeah, it was a good one. And also, like, everyone in that movie is so attractive that you're just like kind of just like mesmerized by everyone.
So good. It's like the perfect plane movie. I hope it's on the plane for Paris.
Oh, yeah. I watched the Barbie movie on the plane.
I was thinking about that because we were talking about Father, and Father's went and saw Anybody But With You in the theater with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I need to give our father a little ring-a-ding-ding.
A little ring-a-ding-ding. Yeah, I didn't see him much today. He left when JD decided he was going to go home because he was ill. Dad was like, I'm also going to go home. There's nothing for me to do here. So then they abandoned me to try to fix a semi by myself.
Our jobs just like couldn't be more different.
So basketball yeah. So basketball season's over, so now I'm just back to having my normal job.
Yay. Happy sister friends can finally take priority in your life. So our nonprofit boutique family-friendly podcast can maybe blow up.
Artisan.
We just didn't post this week because I just wanted to feel wanted, I just wanted someone to be like, hey, you didn't post this week. Literally no one cared.
Where's the app? Well, no, because
mom texted me
and 3 episodes like,
when's the episode going up? And I was like, Mom, I haven't even filmed it yet, but thanks for being our biggest fan.
I know. That's like all the podcasting 101 of like, this is how you do it. These are the rules for success. Like, this is a passion project, folks.
This is our hour-long FaceTime that you just get to be a part of.
We're just going to post it for you. So do you have anything exciting coming up besides coming home to see moi?
This weekend, Friday night, big plans. Going to the dentist. I have 3 cavities. I'm getting them filled all at one time.
Oh my gosh.
Literally 7 p.m. 6:50. That's my appointment time. They're all on the same side. So at my dentist, like they'll only do one side at a time. So last night I went, I had 2 cavities. I had one on this side and one on this side. And so I had to do them in 2 different appointments. All 3 cavities are on my right side, which like really says something about my brushing. So I'm getting all my cavities filled. And then Saturday I'm hitting the town for my friend's birthday. And then nothing next weekend. And then the weekend after that, nothing out of the usual.
Cool. Yeah, I know. Like, it's crazy that this is March and then it's like, we'll be planting. Like, this is supposed to be winter's supposed to be my downtime. where I don't have things going on and I'm like, anxiously waiting for planting to happen. No, I haven't had a freaking moment to breathe all winter.
I am just going to go out on a limb and say that's your fault because like your New Year's resolution, which is a great time for us to check in on our New Year's resolutions, was to say no. And you've not done that.
And I canceled 3 things this week though. I did so it's just like I'm just saying yes and no and yes and no and I did cancel something because Tanner and I were going to go to a thing for like young ag people. It was a really good conference and I went last year and I really enjoyed it, but I was like trying to get Tanner to come along with me because I was like everyone has their spouses with them and I'm alone and lonely. So I convinced him to come and then I was like, just kidding, we're canceling that because I was gonna have to go from this Michigan conference to then this conference to then hanging out with our friends. So canceled this. And this is the speaking event I'm doing on Thursday. It's my last speaking event because I canceled my last one after that. And I'm saying no to all speaking in public for the foreseeable future.
It's like Queen. No one's ever asked me to speak.
I'm saying no.
Saying no.
But I still have somehow too many things going on. But it will be slower down now since cheer is over for the season.
At least you don't have 3 cavities.
I could. That's the thing. We don't know. I don't.
I'm just like so confused. I just need it to be known that I floss once every day and I brush my teeth. I brush my teeth twice a day. And like I use Sensodyne and I have a Sonic toothbrush. Like this isn't
no, it's like your teeth are prone to them for whatever bad reason in science.
I just got an email called Living in New York and I was like, oh my gosh, this could be my apartment. It's not. It's another apartment mom sent me.
Oh my goodness.
She just sent me a 5th floor walk up. That's crazy, Mom.
Well, that's a lot of walking up. But think about your muscles. Those legs would be, you wouldn't have to work out.
True. Okay, sister friend, it's been so real. It's been so fun. I hope you have the most amazing week and we can do this again real soon.
Wow. Edit that out.
Not. Toodles.
Okay. Bye.